Hi, John McElroy here from Autoline, talking all things automotive here with Terry Wachowski.
Hello, John.
The president, the president of Carousel. And we've got a car I've been dying to get into, the Xiaomi Yu7. The Yu7 is the actual name. This is the Yu7 Max, which I'm told totally everything loaded here. But Terry, what a story. I mean, Xiaomi, this is a company that makes phones and consumer appliances, and they've only been at this a couple of years, and yet everybody in China and much of the rest of the world going crazy over this car.
Yeah, it's really pretty remarkable when you think about it. As you said, you're essentially a phone company, a home appliance company, decides to get into the auto business. Their first foray was the SU7, and it caught the world by shock. It's like, wow, this is really nice for your first time out the gate. This is something. Well, then about a year later, now comes the Yu7. This is the Yu7 Max, and it is really quite an amazing vehicle. So this is you got a lot of attention in the auto industry. Of course, we're a benchmarking company, so we want to get our hands on the first ones so that we can, be disassembling them and understanding what's beneath the skin. It's the engineering in the vehicle, but it's really very popular. John, we were at the IAA over in Germany a couple weeks ago, and we had our booth, Carousel booth there, and we had a Yu7 in our booth. And for 5 days straight, it was flooded with people. I've never seen anything like this. In fact, it was drawing as much, if not more, attention than most of the regular OEM booths. So, it's really got a lot of people's attention, and I knew you'd like to drive it.
Yeah, no.
Before we take it apart and get a chance to experience it yourself.
Yeah, we've been reporting on this, ever since it came out. Well, ever since the Su7 came out, and took the country by storm. China, that is the Chinese market, and the Yu7 comes out, and bang, even more people want it. And this one's got some impressive specs. It's just shy of 700 horsepower, all-wheel drive, air leveling suspension, and let's take a walk around.
Sure.
And you point out a few things here.
Well, it competes nose to nose with the Tesla Model Y. You could tell who they benchmarked and who they were going after and competing. They had their own SU7 that they wanted to up their game, and make it even better, and then take on the Tesla Model Y. To summarize it, they accomplished it. I mean, it's even a superior vehicle in many fashions than the SU7. It's a little more costly, but they've added new technologies and new features, so it turned out that. They did get after some of the costs by some engineering efficiencies that I can talk about a little bit here. It performs extremely well, and it's priced under the Tesla Model Y, and it offers more technology, more features. So
the other thing too, look at the styling. I mean, there's a little bit of Porsche-esque approach to the styling. I see that in the headlamps, especially in the rear three-quarter as well.
Yeah. With the flow-through ventilation around the lamps, through the fascia, they're getting extra cooling through some of these heat sources, but also improving CDA, get the drag as low as it can, and it's just aesthetically cool. They're challenged like a lot of our people are with a LiDAR, so it's a little bit of a protuberance here, but
you don't see that much outside of China, but my understanding is everything, well, maybe not everything, but a lot of LiDAR in China these days.
Yep. They have thrifted out some of the sensors from the automatic driving from the SU7, so they've gotten that for the price that way. You can see they've got Brembo brakes. There was some criticism earlier of some brake performance. There's a brake feel. That's been addressed. Brembo brakes up here. We got Brembo-esque brakes in the back. There's no Brembo on
There's
them,
no
but
Brembo logo. So, yeah.
But,
they painted the caliper to make it look like it's a Brembo,
but remember, most of the braking is done regen.
Right.
And then the mechanical braking that you really want to do when you're in sport mode is done up here.
Yeah.
So this is a good application.
And giant 21-inch wheels and tires. Michelin tires too. That kind of surprises me that it's not a Chinese brand tire.
No, but I think it lends to the comfort mode in the vehicle. They ride really well, and then in the handling and in the sport mode.
I wonder too if it's, is there still some panache of having European Brembo branded brakes, you know, Michelin tires, you know. So,
a lot of brand.
Yeah, and very interesting too. Just the cap on the top of the rear view mirror looks like it's carbon fiber. Yep. So again, to convey to the buyer, like, hey, we're putting good stuff, good materials and components on this car.
We're about halfway through disassembly of another vehicle. So we'll be cutting through this and making sure, is that really carbon fiber or is it full? But,
right.
You know, looks good from here.
Yeah.
The door handles are unique in that they flip in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get a video clip on that, because when you look at the door handles, I thought they were going to be retractable, but that's very controversial in China now too. But here it's just like a regular mechanical one.
Yeah, it actually tuck itself up, gets out of the way, and you just get your hand in there to pull it open.
So you get the look of a retractable handle, but it's not really.
Well, you get the arrow feature. It's clean. You get the look, but it's just flips in.
And it's interesting to see the charging port on this, because, you know, somebody like myself who's used to the J1772 or the Tesla Nax one, it don't look nothing like them.
I don't. I mean, we had to come up with some adapters. The vehicle is not homologated to U.S. standards right now. So it is.
In fact, you were saying this car speaks Mandarin.
It
doesn't speak English.
It really doesn't speak
So,
English.
I mean, you can do all these voice controls with it if you speak Mandarin, but if you don't speak Mandarin, you're out of luck.
Yeah, fortunately, we have some of our associates who do, and they can help work on it and show it, but as far as my personal Mandarin, it's really not up to par.
Yeah. Let's take a look. How do you open
There's a touch
here?
There is a voice activated. If you can speak Mandarin, you can say open the hatch and it'll open. Just like the trunk, you can say open the trunk.
So decent amount of cargo space back here.
Yep. Now, one of the upgrades from their SU7 is they electrified the seats. So it used to be a manual adjust seat. This has got electrical controls. And you can tell even more focus once again to the back seat passenger to give that, because sometimes the owner is sitting back here.
Yeah.
Up here. You got to get used to that.
That's right. Very nice. And, you know, I like seeing all the detail work and how everything's really been finished off here. It's very well
clean,
thought.
Executed. It looks like a power strut to open here and just a passive gas strut here. So instead of having two power struts, which most people do, they've been able to thrift that.
Well, let's take a look inside, because there's a lot to look at in this. So actually, we'll have to get in the car and take a ride, because you can't appreciate all the displays and everything unless they're on and the vehicle going down the road.
Yeah.
So why don't we hop in?
We take it for a ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can drive, right?
Please.
Yeah. So Terry, what I really like about this is you've got this nice center screen. We'll get more into that. But in the cowl at the end of the dashboard, you've got this pillar-to-pillar display, which I really like, because number one, you can see it too. It's not just for the driver to be able to see. Anybody can see it. And it's all blacked out. It's very crisp and easy to read, even though it's a very sunny day, very high contrast. It's easy to see. And we've got this little critter that's blinking its eyes at us. And I'm guessing that's some sort of AI avatar that you can talk to and
unfortunately make go away.
Yeah.
This whole panoramic screen is, heads-up display projected. You can see where the IP rolls down. So from your eye ellipse, you can't see that, but they're projecting up nicely. It terminates right at the hood cut line, so it's really well integrated and just gives such a vivid display. And then you can customize. What do you want, where, what colors do you want it to be? Do you want the little gopher to be here or go away? All these things that you can tailor. And it's really crystal clear. It really is.
Yeah, the resolution is great. And as you were pointing out, I mean, this is a company that makes smartphones and other appliances, and this speaks right to what their heritage and capabilities are.
Exactly, and focus, right? It's the connectivity of your whole electronic ecosystem, your phone, your infotainment systems, your home, the home appliances, all interconnected.
Mm-hmm. And you were pointing out there's these metal attachment points that we can see here on the instrument panel and other places in the car.
Yeah, some are visible, some are not visible. They're up in various locations, but they're for customization, and they sell accessories. A sunglass holder that has a magnetic base and just snap in place, or phone holders, or buttons, actually electronic buttons, that you can program to do any of the normal functions, and then place that button wherever you want to. So you become an IP design engineer at this point, where you can put your own features, but you say, you know, I'm always adjusting the seat, or I'm always doing this, and you can just customize a feature.
The screen is terrific. And, oh, I think I just popped the truck.
You did, you touched it.
So we're gonna have to get out.
No, I think you can
close
close
I can
it.
close that, yeah. And then there's
No worries.
other things that I can touch here too, and I'm just gonna do that and see what the heck happens. Okay, oh, that'll open up the connector for
the battery charger.
what's this one do? There goes the rear hatch, right.
Yeah.
Very nice. and very intuitive too.
Have an aluminum clamshell hood, we have plastic fenders, steel doors. When you look at and compare this to the Tesla Model Y, this is actually a couple 100 kilograms heavier.
That's a lot. A
It's
couple of
400 pounds
Yeah.
heavier. It has a bigger battery so that it can compete and other things. So, but it requires more battery, more power because you're heavier. The rear seat in the Yu7 has been electrified. So all the adjustments in the seat, now you have controls.
And interestingly, it has a nav system, but this is for China,
Not
so
in
it
Detroit,
doesn't work.
it doesn't.
That doesn't work in Detroit. But you were saying it will easily accommodate Apple CarPlay.
It does. In fact, I had it plugged in the other day, or out for driving. It's just absolutely crystal clear. Yep.
And then, of course, there's all different kinds of settings that you can get to.
Yeah, you could entertain yourself endlessly with all the different features and adjustments that are available here.
Yeah. Now, I do like there is a stock for the windshield wipers and the brights and the like. I think that's an important thing. As a driver, there's certain things I want right at my fingertips. Turn signals, windshield wipers. To me, that's critical. But one thing I don't like is you do have to go through the screen to adjust your mirrors. Now, most people, they set their mirrors and that's that. You never have to go back to it. So I kind of understand why they'd send you through the screen. Nonetheless, I'm somebody who fiddles with this stuff all the time. I'd prefer to have a mechanical device somewhere within my fingertips to do it. But that's just me. I understand what they're doing here.
Well, for decades, I've been able to just go over to a control right here on the armrest and left, right, up, down.
All right. And then you noted it has a panoramic glass roof, and you were saying earlier before we started shooting this that you can adjust this.
Yeah, electrochromatic.
So there's a lot of content on this car. Well, let's go for a ride.
Yeah, because there's a lot in the driving experience as well that they've.
Oh, and one thing I should point out too is on the steering wheel here, you can twist this knob and go through different driving modes. And they've got some I've never heard of before. Beginner. I've never heard of a beginner mode. Of course, if you got almost 700 horsepower, maybe that's a good thing. Then there's a comfort one, which everybody's got. Sport Plus, which I'm guessing allows you to sort of hang the ass end out on fast turns a bit, take away some of the stability. And then Eco, which everyone has, but kind of interesting. I'll go to Comfort just to start out.
If you notice with the air suspension, as you've changed that, the car has been raising and lowering.
Oh, I didn't
to try
notice
to,
that.
yeah, you've been making this go up and down. I'm getting a little seasick here for a minute. But every time you adjust that, it's starting to adjust the trim height of the vehicle. It can clear up to 3 inches.
And what's this other knob on that?
That's for the self-driving.
Oh, self-driving.
Yeah.
Will it work here in the United States? Oh, yeah. Because you probably have to have, you know, GPS and cellular and all kinds of connectivity and mapped roads and all that to have it work. Right. Yeah, okay.
Probably all kinds of security alerts go off when you hit that here.
Well, let's see how this thing goes. And we're going to come up to a really good test here because there's some bumpy pavement. Yeah, very rough pavement.
Michigan right here. It's my personal rough road proving ground right here.
So number one, no squeaks, no buzzes, no rattles.
No boom.
No boom. Everything's extremely well damped. I wonder if, I know there's noise cancellation in here. I wonder if that's playing some role in it. And if not, this thing is incredibly well tied down.
Yeah. The level of finesse in the vehicle, from the trim to the body panels, it's really nicely crafted.
So, can we drive out of here on the road?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right out on Plymouth Road.
And now once we're on the smooth pavement, oh my gosh, this thing is quiet as a bank vault. And even though we're in comfort mode, it accelerates very nicely. But now I'm going to put it in Sport Plus. And I don't know if the mics will pick this up.
Now you're
But they've got
generating induction noise, exhaust noise.
And so even in sport mode,
You're generating those noises.
Yeah. I mean, correct. These are fake noises.
Yes.
But it's
Artificial.
but it sounds rather natural in the way that the car accelerates and the noise going with it. And then I go to eco mode and it's
Focus on driving.
It doesn't like me talking to you, Terry.
It might have seen your hand. I don't know.
Yeah.
It caught something.
And that was probably the little critter. Now, it did speak English.
Yeah.
I wonder if in China it speaks English too.
That's the first time I've heard that.
I was looking over at you too much and it did not like that. So the steering effort is light, but not too light.
No, and the valley feel is very, very tight.
What do you mean
Notice-
valley feel?
Well, between picking up a torque gradient to the left or to the right, and then in the center, sometimes there's a dull spot right on center. So you get this little bit of, valley feel, a little bit of, wandering that can happen in there. So a lot of steering tuning goes to how well do I make that feel. This is tuned extremely well. And you'll notice the buildup of torque, there's the slightest motion of that.
So we're probably not going to get the chance on this little drive to really put it through its paces. Why I'm saying that is, as we go down the road, I mean, this thing just it's got that boulevard ride. It's very comfortable, but I'll bet if we really went around corners very quickly, cornered hard, that would probably stiffen up the suspension immediately.
It would, especially when you're in the Sport or Sport Plus mode more and more.
I love how quickly all these things react, when I'm touching the screen. And I love the graphics too. I mean, Tesla's the one who pioneered this. But we're getting pretty good graphic definition of the vehicles going by us.
One thing that the Model Y does that this doesn't do, and I don't know if you notice it here or not, but when you do a lane change and you signal to the indicator, as soon as you make the lane change on the Model Y, it will cancel. It says, oh, you want to make a lane change? Okay, you did it? Okay, you don't need this anymore. This, if you signal, it's just going to keep on signaling until you cancel it.
So let's get it up to some highway speeds. And I've got it in sport mode again, so it's generating some noise. But here's where I'm sure we really appreciate having 7 or almost 700 horsepower. And again, it's talking to me in Mandarin, but I think it's
Mandarin. I think it says slow down, cowboy.
Yeah, you're going over the limit there, pal. Okay, so here we're going roughly 70 miles an hour. Total lack of wind noise. I mean, total lack of wind noise. Even though we got that LiDAR bump on the header here.
Well, if you look at the laminated glass, 5.5 millimeter thick laminated glass, that all lends itself to that. The shape of the mirror, the position of the mirror, this flow-through ventilation, those things help. Interesting on the battery protection on the underpan, they advertise it as bulletproof, and they talk about ballistic proof. And it's like, well, that's a interesting choice of words, but what they're saying is from a thermal perspective and a protection that the thing is essentially bulletproof. I wouldn't try to verify that one way or another, but like most EVs, the whole bottom is just completely covered,
flat,
just from an aero perspective.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the advantages of EVs. So we'll get off here and turn around and head back. But yeah, you were mentioning the HVAC. There are no vents that you see. I mean, no round things with little louvers on them.
No adjustments.
It's just a couple of slits in front of us, and they have sort of this oscillating wave motion. So I just feel this gentle breeze of the air conditioning on me.
Yep. The key is comfort. $800-volt battery.
Oh, interesting.
Over the SU7, they increased the power of the rear motor, primarily through the power electronics. I think the motor is essentially the same, but they've gone to a MOSFET type approach and got more power and run higher RPM out of that rear motor. Another interesting thing they've done, and see, these are areas that the customer doesn't know. They don't care, and they're not willing to pay for some of this stuff. But on the SU7, they had 8 individual low voltage controllers spaced around the vehicle from an electrical architecture perspective. Well, they've been busy integrating some of these low voltage controllers, and they went from 8 control boxes to 5 by integrating the functions. And that's just fewer parts that are being engineered, manufactured, assembled.
So you cut costs, you free up packaging space.
Exactly.
Maybe even take a little bit of weight out.
A little bit of mass and labor, assembly labor. The key really is in integration. The best part is no part. And so as you can get these parts to work harmoniously together, and you get that synergistic effect, that's when you win. Do you live around here? You know this way around here pretty well.
I do. So like most electrics, very easy car to drive, plenty of power on tap. So if you find an open space you want to get to, just go for it. It's so easy to do. And this would be an extremely comfortable car for a long drive because it is so quiet, so smooth. Now, I wish that we were able to use the self-driving capabilities of the car, recognizing you cannot do that with this car in the United States, but I'll bet it's pretty good. So this is fully loaded. I mean, it's all-wheel drive. It's got everything. Do you know what this one costs offhand?
About $46,000.
$46,000. Wow.
So it's priced below the Model Y.
Look, I mean, we're talking almost Lucid Air levels of quality and technology at a price that is way below that.
It's amazing. Someone asked me the other day if I would want one, I'd say, where would I sign?
Right.
It's really a nice car.
But you're going to cut this car all up then, right?
We already have one.
Oh, you do?
In our facility in UAE, in Dubai. And we're about halfway through that. And then this one will follow. But for now, it's good to have a model that's whole so that you can compare what am I seeing, how did it come apart, see both ends of the spectrum, and have the opportunity to do some of the evaluations like we're doing now.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet you're getting a lot of interest from a lot of automakers, maybe even suppliers, about what you've learned about this car.
All the above.
Yeah.
Really, in general, the whole China auto industry generates a ton of interest from a benchmarking analysis perspective. And this car in particular of late has really been keenly interesting.
Well, as we said at the beginning, it's just amazing that essentially a consumer electronic company can step into the automotive space and hit one out of the park with its first model, and its second model even better.
Well, and then come out with a second model within about a year.
Right.
That's even better.
Right.
That's pretty unheard of. And the interesting thing, if you look at certain areas, like on some of the window seals and things, there's a level of finesse that usually comes about through decades of experience and solving problems, water leak problems, wind noise problems, clothes, fit and finish. And slowly the designs have evolved to have very precise, nuanced aspects of it. And you look and say, well, this one's already got it. So somebody brought a ton of experience with them, but at the same time, they didn't bring the baggage of bureaucracy and, all the other baggage that so many have, and with respect to their vehicle development process.
Oh, this is the clear advantage that any startup has over a legacy automaker.
Exactly.
Maybe they don't have quite the resources, but they don't have all the 100 years of processes and specifications and all the other stuff that slows them down.
Right.
So Terry, we've done a walk around, we did a bit of a drive on the vehicles. What are your final thoughts about what everybody should pay attention to on this car?
I think what the primary thing to pay attention to isn't necessarily the car, although the car is amazing, but it's the fact how fast this company was able to generate the SU7 and then quickly transform to the YU7, continually driving down cost, increasing performance, features, content, and it's the speed at which they've been able to go. And of all the technological advances and the things that happen, everybody works at those, but the speed at which you can execute that design is a strategic advantage. So it's not just the features, it's not just the technologies, it's not just the integration of controllers and these things. That's critical, but that's what we do for a living. I mean, that's what engineers do. But the speed at which you can make that happen, that's the business. That's the leadership. That's the processes that you follow, or the bureaucratic processes that you don't let be an anchor around your neck. So to me, it is amazing that a vehicle this refined could be generated at the speed that it did, that it can come to market and offer this. So it's once again just showing the level of threat, I think, that exists within the auto industry. Say we've got to be able to do things differently. We need to be able to compete nose to nose, toe to toe, and part of that is the speed of execution.
I know that Xiaomi is scrambling to boost production right now because I think even they were overwhelmed by the demand that they saw. But my understanding is they plan to go to Europe with this car in a couple of years. So, I mean, everybody better wake up. They're not just doing a great job in China. They're going to go after the rest of the world market, too.
Well, I think you can say that for the whole Chinese auto industry, kind of as a whole. In fact, at the IAA in Germany, the Chinese exhibits were generating probably more attention than local European. So it is quite a threat. Currently here in the United States, you've got a tariff barrier, but how long that happens and will be in place, who knows? At best, it can buy you some time to say, what do we need to do? How do we get positioned to learn and then to take action?
Terry Wachowski, always love being able to come over to Karasoff, drive your vehicles, but especially to get your insights. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, John. We'll do the benchmarking. We log all the data in our database of Iceberg. It's a benchmarking engineering database. But we've also created a new database called Eureka, where we take all the insights, we take the ideas. And so it's not a data platform, but a knowledge platform. And it basically says, okay, so what? Here's the differences. What should you do about it? And hopefully that can help as we continue to move this industry better. It's tough, but this is what makes us strong. It makes us better. And quite frankly, I'm bullish. I think the things that my grandchildren will see are going to be amazing.
That's great. Thanks, Terry.
You're welcome, John.
Yeah,
anytime.
Thanks again.
Thank you.